Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here, and I'm in my Beehive studio today, and I'm talking about the Blended Seasons bundle all week this week. It's a great bundle that is available only while supplies last, or August 2018, whatever comes first. So if you love what you see here today, I encourage you to get this bundle soon, because sometimes we sell out of the bundle or out of limited supply things really quickly. It just depends on how much demonstrators promote things, and if we do a really good job and we do a lot of cute projects with them, things will sell out quickly. So today I'm going to show you how to make a really cute box that I made using the Blended Seasons bundle. It's this box right here, and it's got this kind of unique diamond shape to it. So it's kind of fun, and it's not a hard box to make. You just need to know what the right measurements are and how to put it together. The key with this box is how to put it together. Once you know how, it is pretty easy. So I'm using stamps and the dies. In particular, you're going to need the dies to create this box. If you don't have the dies, you won't have this top piece and this bottom piece for the box. So you're really going to need those to complete this box. So I am going to turn the camera around, and I'm going to get started because 3D things sometimes take a little longer. I don't think it's going to take a super long time, but because this is recorded live and I'm not editing it, I want to get through it as quickly as possible. So let me turn the camera around. There's my view this morning. It was raining this morning on my walk, but now the sun is shining, so yay. Oh, I've got things everywhere this morning. I thought I kind of cleaned up, but I didn't. So here is my little box. To start off with, we really need to score these two pieces that will become the sides. So let me grab my Simply Scored scoring board. And let me tell you what the dimensions are on the very first piece. By the way, I'm using shaded spruce cardstock because it matches really nicely with the Under the Mistletoe Designer Series paper that I'm going to be using for the top of the box. So this piece measures 9 3/8 inches by 2 1/4 inches. If you miss the dimensions on this video, please click down below and go directly to my blog where I have all the measurements listed. So I'm going to put the long side up at the top, and I'm going to score 4 times. I'm going to score at the 2 1/4 inch mark, the 4 1/2 inch mark. Maybe I'll put my measurements where I can see them a little better. The 6 3/4 inch mark, and the 9 inch mark. Oops. And then I'm going to turn it to the short side, and I'm going to score at the 3/8 inch mark. So this is for the longer piece. Now I have one other piece that I need for the side as well. This piece measures 8 7/8 inches by 2 1/4 inches. And I'll just put the long side up at the top again. This time I'm scoring at the 2 1/8 inch mark, the 4 1/4 inch mark, the 6 3/8 inch mark, and the 8 1/2 inch mark. I will turn this now to the short side and score it at the 3/8 inch mark. If you're joining me right now, no worries. You can click down below and you'll be able to see the measurements again. You don't have to watch the whole video again. Once you understand how to put the box together, it's not hard, but I do recommend watching how I put it together to save yourself a little time and figuring it out. So I've got these 2 side pieces scored now, and I'm going to show you what I do with them to begin with. We're going to need some Tombow. We're going to need some paper snips. And I'm going to start with this longer piece, and I need to bring some light in here. We're a little dark. Sorry about that. no. Got a little bit of a dark shadow on my monitor. I hope that's a little better. So I'm going to come in here now at the bottom. I've got the skinny scored side down at the bottom. I'm going to come in and I'm just going to cut in V's where my score lines meet down here. You can see that? I'm going to do that all along here. This is just going to help the box come together a little easier. It doesn't have to be precise. You just want to create those V's along here. Then on this end piece where I've got my skinny end side tab, I'm just going to cut like that so you can see it's a bit on an angle. Then over here on this side, I can also do just a little bit of a cut. So now these are all cut into tabs. We'll do the same thing for this one. Just come along and cut into these little V's. Just pull them off. Doesn't take long. It's just the way I'm looking at it underneath the camera, I kind of have to hold it at a funny angle for my cutting. So there's the little side piece again, and then you can come down here and just angle cut this little end so they all have the same tab shape. Okay, now we're going to fold this along all the score lines right to the end. Also a good time to fold down these little tab ends. And we can do this as well. Good morning, everyone who has joined me this morning. This is a fun box we're making with a blended seasons bundle, and it has this cool diamond shape. So that's what I want to show you how to make. So it doesn't matter which one you start with. We're going to work with this side tab, the short side tab. I recommend using Tombow because it's always good for holding boxes together. Okay, and my little glue nozzle is a little bit clogged. I have to grab my paper clip. I've deconstructed a paper clip as a Tombow declogger. So I'm just going to stick that in there, pull it out, and now the Tombow should flow freely. Back to my little short side. Ooh, it flows too freely now. Okay, so I'm just putting Tombow on that short side. Oh, and there's a quick trick to bringing this together very evenly. So I've got this middle score tab, so I'm going to bring in this little side here and this little side here. And if I line them up like that, I don't even have to worry about, you know, making sure it lines properly because it just lines up really easily like that. You can do it in the air as well, like you can bring it together and hold it like this. But if you do it, flatten it out again, if you do it like this and like this, it's much easier to align it. So I'm going to do that with this one as well. Come on. A little bit of Tombow, but not too much. To bring it in like this and like this. All right, so I've got my two side pieces, and I'm just going to set these aside for a moment because we have to do some die cutting. Shove that over here. Bring my big shot into the picture. And if you have any questions while I'm doing this, please jump in and ask them while I'm here and I'm live. If you're watching this on YouTube, I am not live on YouTube. I'm live on Facebook. So if you're watching this on YouTube later, this will be a recording. So this piece right now, these are the stitched, what are they called? Stitched Seasons framelits. My goodness, I can never get that right. I need the middle one, and that's going to create the bottom and the top for the box. And I'm going to grab another piece of shaded spruce, and I'm just going to come in with that middle framelit. and I'm going to give it a cut. I've got my magnetic platform here, and I'm using one cutting plate down, the cardstock, the framelit, and then one cutting plate on top. So that creates one of the pieces that I'm going to need for the box. I already cut a second piece, so you didn't have to watch me do that again. I'm also going to need a couple other die cut pieces, so let's do that right now. I'm going to need a little piece of pretty designer series paper. Right now, the one that's available for everyone is called Under the Mistletoe, and trust me, this paper is wonderful. It's got kind of usually busy patterns on one side and neutrals on the other side. It's a great Christmas paper. I'm going to use the smallest label from the Stitched Seasons framelits. Okay, I didn't even have to look it up this time. And I'm going to take some gold glimmer paper and this little piece right here that creates a cute little sprig. And we're just going to stick that on there. We'll run those both through at the same time. So then we've got this little piece right here. It wants to stick to my platform. And you want to cut 2 of these. I cut an extra one earlier. And then you're going to want your designer series paper shape, and now it matches that medium or the middle piece that I just cut earlier. So I'm just going to set those aside for when we go to decorate everything. Okay, so now we get to assemble the box. So let's bring those 2 pieces back in, and we're going to need those 2 middle framelits. Have a look, which one of these is bigger? We're going to use the bigger one first. So you'll notice that this one nests inside. So this one's the bigger one, so we're going to work with this one first. So you're going to fold down all your tabs. And just keep in mind, all of the sides on this box are equal. So you don't have to figure out which side is which when you're doing this. I'm going to kind of keep this in a bit of a diamond shape, not like a boxy shape, kind of more like a diamond shape, because that's how it fits onto my label. So let's just go ahead and put Tombow on these bottom pieces. These are the little tabs that are going to stick to the bottom. So when I put this on the label, I'm going to match up one of these corners with one of these points here. So I'm going to kind of aim them in. I want them in maybe, let me see, on this box, I have them in about 1/8 of an inch. So if I have this, I'm just going to lay this down about 1/8 of an inch. This first thing that you do is going to be the hardest thing. You're going to have to position the first one well and make sure it's nice and centered, and the second one is easier to do. So I'm just going to try and position that 1/8 from this point and 1/8 from that point, and then it should line up fairly easily on the sides. You really don't have to do anything on the sides if you've got these points matching the point on your die. Then once that looks good, you can come in, shift that a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Come on with your finger and press down on those tabs to make sure they are sticking down nicely. Okay, so now I've actually created the top of the box, because you're going to want the bottom of the box to be, the top of the box you want to slide up, but we've created the top of the box, but it's just kind of inverted right now. So I've got this ready to go. Now I'm going to take my second side piece. I'm going to fold down these tabs, and I'm going to slide this inside the box that I already made. The reason you're going to want to do it this way and not try and stick this on here first is because if you did this differently than mine, say you're just a little bit off, then this piece is not going to fit in there nicely. So you're going to want to make sure that you nest this inside how you did this one. or if you're doing multiple ones, you're going to want to make sure they match up with each particular box that you're doing. Because if you had pressed this in, like say you did, instead of 1/8 of an inch in here, say you did 1/4 of an inch in, it will still probably look okay on this one, but when you go to put your lid on, if it's not matching this one, it's not going to fit the lid. So that's why you're going to match it up by putting this inside with the tabs facing up. And then you're going to put Tombow on the tabs while this is in the box. Also makes it nice because you don't have to hold it in the air. And then you're going to take this piece and you're going to stick it on top. I'm going to just try and line it up. We have some time to maneuver it a little bit in a moment, but we're just going to line it up and just going to tap it down just a little bit, and then we can flip it over. And I think it actually lost its hold for a moment. I'm just going to try and line it up. Again, I can see from the side, which you can't see very well. You're looking down from the top, but I'm peeking in from the side and just making sure the top point and the bottom point are measuring up nicely. Okay, let me lift this up slowly. And now this should be aligned pretty well with that top of the box. You can go ahead and tap those tabs into place so they're actually sticking to the label and not just barely sticking. Okay, so that basically is the box. So you can go and decorate it however you want, but I'm going to show you how I did it. And I like this because it's fairly easy. I'm going to start off by using this little label that I cut out earlier. Just put a little bit of Tombow on it. Center it on the box. Decide which way you want it. This paper is pretty busy, so it really doesn't matter which way is up. But just kind of put that on there. Then we're going to take these little gold glimmer pieces. Just add a little bit of Tombow to the leaves. These are going to be right underneath the banner, so you're going to want to make sure that they stick out right to the box. If you aim this end of the sprig to the center of the box and then just kind of rotate it up so it's kind of sticking out, you want it to stick out just a little bit beyond the pattern right here so it's noticeable. Of course the glimmer will make it noticeable too. So there, 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 and there. And then we're going to do the same thing. Aim the end of the stem towards the middle. And then I'm just going to come through and tap, tap, tap. Make sure it sticks down. Okay, it doesn't look that great yet, but that's because we need to cut a banner. So I've got a little piece of Whisper White here. This is 4 inches by 5/8 of an inch. I'm going to come in with my triple banner punch, and I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm just sliding this down the center groove. The center groove is 1 inch wide, so it's going to be kind of loosey-goosey in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and aim this little triangle down at the bottom, just so that it looks symmetrical. I'm just going to take a little chunk off rather than bringing it right to the end. So just aim this. Of course, now I'm being nitpicky, but there's the first end. Come in and punch with the second end. Make sure that looks good, and then give that a little punch. And so now I have a banner piece. I'm actually going to take Poppy Parade. I know there's Real Red in this paper. I'm in love with Poppy Parade. It is a little bit of a brighter version of Real Red. So once it stamps, it almost looks like Real Red in this instance. Maybe not if you were having them side by side, but I like the brightness of the Poppy Parade. I've got my Merry Christmas here from the Blended Season stamp set. And I'm just going to make sure I somewhat get this centered. on my banner. That's pretty good. I mean, it's maybe the Mary was a little bit too low. Let me see if I can do a better job. Kind of have to hover over top of the camera, which is a little hard. Okay, let's see if that's a little better. Yeah, I'm not a perfectionist. Any of you out there perfectionists? I try not to be, because it's actually not that great if you are one. So turn over the banner to the back and put some dimensionals on here. I used 4 because it's a long banner. You could use less if you wanted to. Just peeling off the backing of the dimensional. Okay, and then make sure it's not upside down. Well, actually, it wouldn't matter, would it really, because both ways would work. But the way I've got my sprigs going, I think it looks better this way. And then you just stick that on there. And then I just tied a little earlier, I just tied a little bow with some real red ribbon that we have in the catalog right now. I'm going to take a mini glue dot, stick the knot on there, and then just add that right there to the top of the box. I actually debated whether or not to use the bow. There is a bow from here as well, but I thought it was just a little bit too big. But depending on, like, if you didn't do the gold sprigs, you could also maybe do the bow instead, the die cut bow instead of this little piece of real red ribbon. But for scale wise, for my box, I kind of just thought, that looks pretty darn good. And there's the little box. It opens like that, and you can put something inside here. Now, here's a thing that you can think about. Say you've got a gift that you want to give, and it's just a little bit taller than this box. Well, you can change the dimensions, like the length of this box up. This is, you start with my box with 2 1/4 inches. But say you wanted to make it like maybe twice as big, you could start with like 4 inches, so it will be taller. You would do that for both of the sides. I have measurements on my blog for box side 1 and box side 2. So the measurement that is 2 1/4 inches, you change that out to be the same for both boxes. And then you're going to have a taller box that you can work with. So this box could hold a taller gift if you wanted to. So that's kind of a neat little thing that you could do for this particular box. And that's basically it. I'm going to look back. I don't think anyone has asked me any questions. So I'm just going to turn myself around. So this month, just remember, get your Blended Seasons bundle. It is only available while supplies last. I imagine the framelits might sell out before the stamp set does. I don't know what will happen in that case, if Stampin' Up will keep the stamp set going, but to make this box, you absolutely need the framelits. The stamp set is a nice addition because you can do a lot of cool matching things with it, but the box, you do need the framelits for the box. I have a host code that's listed in the description of this video. If you would like to get these framelits, I have a promotion going on this month. If you spend $50 using the host code, you're going to get some special ribbon that Stampin' Up has in the holiday catalog from me in September. Stampin' Up also has a promotion whereby if you spend $50 in August, you'll get a coupon, a $5 coupon in September. And if you spend $100, then you get 2 $5 coupons. So it's nice. It's not just for $50. You can add on. My ribbon is only it's 1 per month. So if you spend $100, you'll still only get 1 roll of ribbon. But with Stampin' Up and their promotion, it's for every $50 you spend. So that's a really cool deal to get this month. So I have some more cards that I've already posted on my blog using the Blended Seasons bundle, so if you want to take a look at those. Tomorrow I will be doing one more project with the Blended Seasons bundle. It is a fancy fold card, so you won't want to miss that. So anyway, if you have any questions, please post them below in the comments or send me a message through my contacts link, and I will be happy to answer them. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye for now.